there would be nothing from
I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum present. Meeting has been duly called and appropriate notice has been given. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, and it'd be great if our AP students that are here tonight would lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that.
Put people on the spot.
At this time, we have our public comment section. The meeting is for public comments. It's designed, designated time for community members to address the board. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. We welcome your input, encourage you to speak respectfully and professionally. We also encourage you to avoid statements about specific students or district staff members in order to protect their rights. All public comments will be included in the recording of the meeting. We also encourage you to ensure you followed our district chain of command policy, policy 6.7, before signing up for public comment. And we thank you for speaking. We look forward to your comments. Tonight we have one, Mr. Hap Myers. How are you this evening?
Jason, back again. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity and placing these comments up early in the agenda. Not that waiting would be a big deal, but it's nice, and I hope in the future there'll be more folks taking advantage of this opportunity. I know there's been some policy changes that reflect SB 90 and this opportunity, and I hope the word will get out. And the other thing I want to mention, I hope you can hear me, and a reminder to please speak into the microphones so that the folks that are watching it at home on the live stream can hear your comments. Other than that, the topic that I addressed, Jason, as you can see, was
millage.
Yeah, and I know, and maybe I've missed it in the media or elsewhere, but I haven't seen much, if anything, talking about the ultimate necessity for a millage increase to support project or option 9 and the new high school and the big top and those issues. I would hope that as things go on, and I know it's a bit down the train tracks, but at some point, I believe there was just a mention of the M word, the millage word, but at some point, I would hope that all the out-of-the-box solutions that can be brought to bear to limit the impact on the individual taxpayer can be employed. That we're all taxpayers, and I understand that, but remember, tax increases impact some people much more than others. And whatever the ultimate dollar amount is, millage amount that may be presented to the taxpayers, I would hope that would be mitigated by all other revenue sources, funding, grants, local support by organizations, the Education Foundation, boosters, whoever, private citizens that want to come to bear to help the community and the schools. That's it. I hope there'll be other folks availing themselves of this opportunity in the future, and I look for that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, moving on, approval of the agenda and the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the agenda and minutes of July 17th and July 31st.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you for that. Moving on to reports. Ms. Lawrence, you have
I have some special guests.
some introductions. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited. We have some great celebrations tonight. We're going to focus on our AP scores and highlights. So I'm going to ask Ms. Stephanie Hughes to come forward. We have some slides ready for you with some of the latest scores, and then we have some really special people here. So.
Thank you guys once again for allowing us to be here. Ms. Lawrence. So this year, we have grown 14% from last year. That's the biggest jump that I've seen in looking at all the past data. So could you go to that next slide? Okay, so you can kind of see the jump. So from 32% last year, which we had grown 5% from 23 to 24, and then 14% this year. So very pleased with that result. And then if you'll go to that next one, we're gonna kind of go, this just shows that. This year, actually, we did have more students, of course, taking the AP exams. In 2024, we had 227. And then this year we had 261, so our numbers did grow as well. And here's all our good stuff. I talked about the 14%. This year we were able to give out some new scholarships and some more scholarship reward money. So thanks to the Mountain Home Education Foundation, we got a grant for $7,000. And 4,000 of that we used for student scholarships, and those were presented on Dunbar Day to Malachi Rivera for overall excellence, Olivia Clements for AP Humanities, and Alex Harris for AP STEM. They are all getting ready to go to college. They were all seniors. And hopefully we will be able to continue to do this. And then these students right here are some of our students that will be getting checks soon from our AP reward incentives. So if students made a 3, 4, or 5, they will qualify for this. A score of 3, they will get $50. A score of 4, they get $100. And a score of 5, they get $150. And many of them accumulated several of these. So I think the highest paycheck we gave out for that was $300. Last year, this year we are giving out, and I took out Malachi, Olivia, and Alex. They didn't get the small checks because they got the big check, so their number was taken out of that overall total of $10,550. Last year that number was $6,900, about $7,000. So definitely a big jump there. And we had 19 AP scholars. And if you go to that next slide, Kelly, and that's when I'm gonna ask these guys to stand up, my AP scholars. So we had 2 AP scholars with distinction, one of which was Jack Holden. And that means that they scored a 3.5 average on all the AP exams they've taken throughout high school. And that means they had 3 or higher on 5 or more. So that's a very, very big deal. Let me get these 2 teachers, y'all come up here with me. They're part of the reason up here. So, Mr. Engel and Mr. Norris are 2 of our AP Physics and AP Chemistry teachers. You guys can stand there. You deserve the honor. You did the work, right? And then we have 1 AP scholar with honors, Emma Girdley, who is getting ready for college. And then Martin Shepard, who is also a graduate from last year, who is college bound. So, and then we had, with those, besides those 3, we had 16 others, and those are listed on the next slide. And here's where you see Libby, Dewey, Devin Pringe, Jack's name is listed on the other one, and Ben Souter. But that's our group of AP scholars. So.
Congratulations.
Do y'all have any questions you want to ask either our students or our teachers?
So are they juniors, these here today?
I just graduated.
Devin graduated.
Senior.
Seniors? Okay, are you enrolled in AP coursework for next year? Awesome. Some of you are my former students. I'm super proud of you. Like a proud mama right here.
Yeah.
So excellent.
Yeah, with Chad. What grade is he going?
What grade, Mr. Dewey, are you
Yes.
going into?
Yeah.
How many AP courses?
Yeah, we are about out.
Do we have any of you that are headed towards a humanities path for your college degree or STEM? Awesome.
Now, Libby, you got some good humanities scores, language and history. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are classes or coursework you won't have to take in college. Awesome.
Do y'all teachers have anything you want to say about what you see from your AP classes right now, or trends, or anything? Y'all want to, we're celebrating you guys just as much as we are students. So.
You're just looking at 4 students who really represent Mount Home very, very, very well. And they're not alone, obviously, there's a bunch, but you're looking at 4 really good ones.
We're privileged to get to do what we do and, work with great young minds and have the opportunity to, I think, do our best to extend their learning and provide opportunities for them. And they push us to make us better teachers. I'm lucky to have this guy next door and push me to be a better teacher as well. So, really proud of our kids.
So how early do you start your path towards this AP coursework?
When did you start your advanced classes?
Oh, I took my first AP course in 9th grade.
Ninth grade.
Mhm.
Did you take anything earlier that that you needed to prepare you for your coursework that you made it to now?
I mean, I was in GATE, that was really helpful. With a few in honors classes, like
Honors
AP, algebra,
classes.
stuff like that.
Early geometry and algebra.
Algebra 1 early. It's important that parents know that pathway, if you're a STEM graduate or you're headed towards a STEM career, starts in 8th grade Algebra 1 to get to that AP Calculus class, to have room for that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask y'all a question? I wanna know what else y'all do besides studying, because I want them to hear some of the other things y'all are involved in. Devin, you wanna go first?
I'm probably not the person to ask about that.
Devin does math on vacation.
What? She did lots of stuff
I
besides.
studied a lot because I did take a lot of AP courses in high school, so that did consist of a lot of my time, but I did also play a lot of sports too. That did take up a lot of my time, and then I was big in FFA, which also took a big chunk of my time. So my whole life consisted of school until I graduated pretty much, until summer came around. But and then just starting work in the hospital to kind of further my career in medicine kind of that way. But other than that, school was definitely like a big part of my life, I guess. So I don't know.
Was it worth it?
Yes, very much. Yes, it's worth it a lot. I'll not exchange it for anything, so.
I play softball and I'm on student council. I'm student council vice president, and what else? I'm on the FCA leadership team. So every week we do a Bible study, and then we have meetings every other week. And then what else? I'm involved in some other clubs, MHPS.
Lots of stuff. You're a busy girl. What about you?
I play tennis for the high school team, and I also run track for the high school team, so that takes up a lot of time. I'm also involved in FFA. I'm vice president of the senior class for student council, SCA leadership team like Libby, and also involved in FFA. And then in the little spare time I have left, I like being in the outdoors.
I'm in the middle of golf season, which kind of explains this hire. I was actually on the golf course, and I got a text from Devin that was reminding me about this, because I kind of forgot. I'm an NHS senior president. All three of us are big in FFA. Libby should join too. I take Ben fishing every once in a while, because I feel bad for him, so it's a little fun. But yeah, that's what I like to do.
That's great. Do you have any more questions or anything else you want to say about the honors program?
No, the teachers that we have teaching our honors and our AP, and the students, they're just the top of the top. And I'm just blessed to coordinate testing and getting all this stuff together, so I'm blessed to be able to work alongside them.
Those teachers
Hey.
are Mountain Home grads too.
Ms. Hughes, I did have a question for you. So, looking at these numbers, not only did we increase the number of students, that are taking AP classes, but the percentage of those students that scored 3 or above increased as well too. So it's what, 50-something students, almost 50 students additionally from last year got a 3 or above. So that's not a statistical anomaly. So we're obviously doing something right, both increasing the number of students taking the APs and then the number of students who are achieving in those classes. So do we have a good pulse on, hey, what are we doing that's working? Because obviously we're doing something right and we're moving in the right direction here.
I think we have the right teachers in the right places. I know these guys, Mrs. Drury was able to go this summer to an AP writing, so she helped grade AP tests.
That
in
is
order
huge.
to make, it makes you a better teacher. You
It
know
does.
exactly what to teach. So we've got teachers that are willing to go the extra effort, and they're experts in their field, and they make learning engaging, and the kids want to take these classes with these guys because it's challenging them, and they know it's going to be helpful for their careers and their lives.
Okay.
And AP is
Excellent.
nationally recognized, so any college in the U.S., this coursework counts.
Right.
Not necessarily for concurrent sometimes. If you go out of state, they may not, but AP is accepted.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
If you get a 3 or above, it is accepted as a college credit.
Right.
There's only, I think,
In the state of Arkansas.
in the state of Arkansas,
Mhm.
there's only 2 private schools that ask for a 4 in certain courses. But other than that, yeah, it's 3 or above.
Well
So
done.
y'all were talking about your extracurricular activities, and I've heard a couple that have extreme travel. How did you keep up your coursework and still maintain the travel? Because you did. You obviously did. How did you stay? Up-
I mean, I started AP classes pretty early on, and I didn't really know how to study back then. Taking AP chemistry kind of threw me through a loop, so I had to learn how to study then. And then my scores were, I got 2s on my first exams that I ever took, and then as the years went on, I increased them up because I knew how to study and I knew what to look for. So like on traveling, because FFA took a big chunk of our time, I would say, we traveled a lot. But you have to kind of dedicate some time and wherever you're at to study. I mean, if you want that grade, then you're going to study for it, you're going to get it. And if you don't, then you're going to wait last minute and then probably not do as well. But if you really want to succeed, then you'll make time for it. So that's all.
So highly motivated students can be successful.
Do homework on vacation, because that's what you saw.
If you had Miss Reed for algebra, you did homework on
I did.
vacation anyway.
You did homework all your life, yes.
80 problems.
To parents' dismay.
I cannot say yes or no to that.
Not while fishing. but- Any other questions for our teachers, students, or Ms. Hughes?
Thank you for sharing.
This was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a big day when we
Big
felt
day.
our scores were out. We were just so excited, so proud of our teachers, our students, and excited to share some happy news.
Um,
But yeah,
I noticed the last slide, these are the courses that are offered on campus. It also said that there are also classes available with, we don't use VARC this year.
so
It's changing, but the provider.
yes, and there's a couple rules around what can be. Their teachers also have to be AP accredited teachers for our students to take those classes. If the classes make on campus, that's obviously our first and best choice, but there have been some conflicts where they've done a virtual class. So.
Okay, so if it's offered on campus, we highly encourage them to take
Well,
it
we
on
highly
campus.
encourage it just because we feel like that's
We have
gonna
the
be the most
teachers.
successful option, but
Right.
that's not always available. So.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a couple other fun things to show you, a couple videos. Hey, thank y'all for coming to chat.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, Mr. Eagle.
Nice.
Mr. Moore. Those were our new staff. We did have new employee orientation last Thursday, a full day, with our certified, and then our classified was there for the first part of the day. We got to go over, we did code of ethics, we did, they met all of our directors, our principals, our office, central office ladies. We were able to provide breakfast and lunch, so they, know it's a lot of information they're getting all at one time, but we had a really good day getting to know them a little bit better. Our certified teachers, we talked about the PLC process, we went over their strengths. So we had Miss Crawford was able to talk to them about some licensure, communication, just a lot of just kind of onboarding type things. So that was last Thursday. And then we got to celebrate everybody at Dunbar Day, as y'all know, on Monday. And our next video was part of Dunbar Day, but we wanted to make sure we got to show that tonight, so it could be part of our live stream. So.
Hello, Bomber, teachers and staff. My name is Misty Culliver.
And my name is Jeb Culper.
Jeb was diagnosed with autism at 3.5 years old in Little Rock, Arkansas, with a very poor prognosis. He's been a Bomber for 13 years, and this year he will be a senior. As parents, when we shifted from emotions to advocacy, everything changed. Jeb's pivotal years in the Mount Home School District started at Hackler with the then Special Ed Director, Cassie Barnhill, who asked his dad and I what we thought about her reading a story about a student with autism. She did that with his peers, and they were able to ask questions like, why does he STEM? Can I catch autism? Those kind of questions. And ever since that day, everything changed with his peers. Inclusion happened, and progress started happening as well. His educational journey has moved forward ever since that date. Fast forward to today, and Jeb has been on a waiting list for 18 months at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital for a neuropsych testing evaluation. That just happened 2 weeks ago, and we got a few preliminary results that we wanted to share with you. His IQ remains humbling. However, his reading level is on a 5th grade reading level, and we're thrilled to hear that. And the Chief of Staff at Le Bonheur Neuropsych Unit wanted us to be sure and say thank you to our school, because she said many times in rural schools they do not always get this remarkable of results. And so we wanted to say thank you. We want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We're very grateful for all of you that have poured into our son. We know that he would not be where he is today without your support, and we are crazy grateful for it. We are also want to say thank you to the paraprofessionals, the lunch ladies, everyone that has poured into Jeb, and we know that he's living proof of positive supports, and we're just so thankful and grateful for your support at Mountain Home Schools. I know your days are long, and probably many times you hear negative comments from parents, and we wanted to say thank you. We hope you have a great 25-26 school year, and go
Bombers.
That's great. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
So I will say this, she reached out to see how she could thank our teachers, and she asked if she could do a letter or just somehow communicate her thank you message to staff. And ironically, that was on Friday before Dunbar Day or Thursday, and Dunbar Day was on Monday. And so we talked to Misty about providing a video that we could share with everybody. And so that's what they did for us. So that was really special. And I got to have Jeb as a student, third grade. So yeah, we had just a lot of fun with him, and getting to know his family. So just have great staff helping our students. So, but that's all for the academic report tonight. So any questions before I sit down?
Great news.
Yeah.
Okay. Very uplifting, and open house is going amazing. We made it to buildings and lots of excitement. Everybody's ready to go on Tuesday.
Moving on to our financial reports. Ms. Cotter, good evening. It's all good news, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, just give me a second. Okay, we'll start with the statement of changes in fund balance for the month ending July 31st of 2025. We ended the month with $14,511,420.97. That's up a little bit, $669,000 over this time last year. But at the end of June, we had several grants we were trying to wrap up, and so we were able to use expenditures elsewhere rather than Fund 2000. If you would take a look at the 6,000 funds, you can see some of the negative amounts in the revenues. This is a result of money that didn't come in at the end of June. And so we have to make those accruals and then reverse those accruals in period 1. And so that is money that we will receive. It's just timing of it all. And they'll start paying some federal payments towards the end of August and in September.
So we will receive all of that money?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay.
And I will point out in Fund 2281, that's our ESSA fund. That's one of our state categorical funds. You see it's in the negative. We have not received our installment yet. And so it's in the negative, but generally that will start catching up before the end of the year.
Okay.
Moving on to the statement of revenue and expenditures. We're just showing the total revenues and the total expenditures since the budget has not been approved, and then once it's approved, we can show the rest of the remaining balances. We have total revenues in July of $1,611,283.62 and total expenditures of $1,652,539.92. Any questions on that? When we look at the monthly fund balance tracking, we ended July with $8,049,421.72. Just also as a reminder, the fiscal year from 24-25 does not close until August 30th or 31st. And so the beginning balances for July will kind of retroactively correct themselves in the system, and then we'll bring back the corrected or the updated version once that end closes.
Any other questions?
Moving on to the activity funds, we ended the month of July with $554,049.89. Then the following pages are system reports that support this information, as well as the check register for the month of July.
Any questions for Ms. Scott? Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's me.
You're up.
So enrollment as of 8 o'clock this morning, 3,699 students. So it is up 29 students from what you see printed on this page. So that'll start leveling out as the drops and adds come in over the next few days. But, you know, I hope we keep them all.
Did we just get 29 students from somewhere recently? That's, okay.
No, just
Are they late?
they moved and didn't get registered, changed the direction they were gonna go, and that's with drops and adds. So we've lost some, gained some, lost some, gained some, but right now, we're plus 29, so. from where we were when you all saw this initially, what's printed in the, on the agenda.
Okay.
So we'll keep watching.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, now it does.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just trying to catch up. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay, student, I assume that.
11 in and 9 out for multiple reasons. Mom works in Mountain Home, but they live in Cotter. It's just easier. So they come in. We have one that just needs a smaller setting. They go out. So just nothing shocking about any of the reasons. Ms. Crawford filled me in on every single one. So.
Any other questions for enrollment? No? Mr. Knight, facilities update?
I would like to take a moment to talk about the millage. I want you guys to all remember, I know we did a whole bunch of work, but we still have that pretty much mandate by the facilities division that we have to show progress every year for what we are doing and have it completed by February 1st, 2030. And in my world, that means it has to be completed by the summer of 2029. And that's one of the things I worry about. So if you look at kind of our milestones that will probably start being met, so you can even have a conversation in 2027 about having a millage. I'll go down to Little Rock in October. We'll submit the plan that you all came up with to them. I'll ask them more questions about what does, you worked awful hard on that. Is that going to be counted as this year's progress for us, so we don't have to go maybe spend some money this year and see. But then, you know, we're supposed to know the 1st of May if you get funding. Where were we this year? June?
June. We were approved, but didn't have the money.
So, and then you'll know if you're funded or not, and then all the decisions will need to be made, and I don't know when you could even possibly go. I know there's months that have to go by. So that leaves me just over a year to get all of this stuff done. And the couple things that I'm the most scared of are the last two. They're going to be the most expensive, and it may take me an entire year to find an engineer that is willing to take the liability even to do that. So I just wanted you to know that I'll go talk to them more in October, and but unfortunately we've still got to do work and show progress. So if you all decide to go for a millage and it doesn't pass, we can get that done that summer so they don't shut that facility down.
So what on that list have you finished?
We've done the smoke detectors, which is the most important.
Yes.
I think your lighting will be a big deal. The walkways, no one will build that unless there's an engineer to prove that it can support the walkways. I can't find an engineer that wants to take the liability of that. And then your standpipe won't be a problem, but you're talking about the largest piece, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Any questions?
Just full of good news tonight.
It's not bad news. I know that there'll be times as because it's gonna take forever. I'm gonna come in and say, I need $25,000, and I'm gonna go, didn't we have why are we doing this?
So lights are next.
Yeah.
Lights are next. They'll be expensive, but not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And this is not new news.
No.
Right?
Not
It's
new
not
news.
new news,
Just
maybe to
Just an
the new
update.
members on the board.
It's kind of haunting me
Yes.
when I look at that.
Timeline.
That's not,
Yeah.
don't want to go spend $500,000 and then you get past a millage and we tear it apart.
Right.
Don't want it to fail and not have enough time to do it and get,
I think that's why the timeline of fall of '27 makes a lot of sense, probably.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, we can get a light out in front of the high school gymnasium for us
Sure.
old folks.
Can you put a ticket in?
I will, if that's what it takes.
Yeah, I'll write a note.
I'm about to kill myself out there one night. When you get out there between by the plane in, there's no lights.
They just did that.
We did
I would say that probably
we did by the gym
yeah, we
on the
just did it.
stairs.
It's probably the timer's not on.
The time, I think we've got, yeah.
Because I've been on the track in the dark and I can see the door of Dunbar from there. It's all lit up.
We just need to check and see. I know we did the ones on the field.
They're
But on
great.
that side, we need to check.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
talking
check.
about in front of the high school gym.
We'll check.
There's one light out there.
There's one over by Dunbar, right?
Over by Dunbar, I mean, you can, I mean, from the.
Yeah, you get over that way, you can see to walk through the parking lot.
We'll see. We'll check and make sure it's working. And if not, we'll see what we need.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Board action items. Oh, the good stuff. Mrs. Cotter. This is it.
Just keeps getting good.
Donna.
And Donna.
Donna. Donna's done a lot of work on this.
Tonight, we bring the board action item to request approval of the 25-26 budget. This is part of our requirements for the Arkansas Department of Education. And this information is reported with the district in cycle 1. And cycle 1 is due September 30th. So I preface that to say we still have work that, and things that we're looking at. And so it's very, very likely, I would almost guarantee that in September, we will bring a revision after we get some other things taken care of. Donna and I have worked on this together, and so I think she's gonna walk you through some of the pages.
If you look at the budget summary that says updated, we, anything in blue is what we've changed from the last time that we brought it in July. So we, in the first column, that's your beginning balances, we made some entries in wrapping up the books from last year, so that's why those changed. And then you've got, most of the changes came in the income and expenditures, and a lot of that was due to allocation adjustments. So we got our new allocations in from the state and the federal, and so we had to change a bunch of numbers there. And then some of the things that we also changed, we told you last time that we were budgeting at 95% on tax revenue. And we have upped that to 96%, because, you know, once we got this done, we were about $2 million that we was gonna spend out of our balance. So we decided that in looking at the trends from the prior years, that we could, we felt we could go up to the 96% and be okay in collecting that. And then we also increased our interest revenue amount by $200,000. And we did that because we went back and, you know, we did the bidding this year on our bank bids, and they guaranteed us a certain percentage that it wouldn't go below that. So we went back and calculated that out using an estimate of 13 million as our balance. And at our percentage, then we were able to up that a little bit. And then we also got the state aid notice in, and that's one of your forms that supports this. And on that state aid notice, it has the declining enrollment on it. And normally, schools, you know, don't budget that on the front end. But we felt comfortable with it being on our state aid notice that we could go ahead and put that in the budget. And so in doing that, we moved some expenditures from the operating down to there because it's a different fund. And so that's how we were able to make it, we're 1.2 million is what we're projecting that we're gonna spend out of our balance now instead of the 2 million. That's kind of the changes that we've made so far. We still, like we said, we've got some final You know, you've got salaries and benefits that we've got to adjust because you're hiring, you know, and people are coming and going still. So we've got some of those to make. And we also have our health insurance. We don't have confirmation for sure on that yet as to how much that's gonna be. So our estimate, you know, we're high on it, we think. So we may be able to lower that some.
You're probably not high enough.
So we'll be coming back in September again. But, you know, for now, this is what we're comfortable with. And we feel that, you know, this is the best spot we are in at this moment. And we will come back and hopefully provide you a better picture, and with the additional things that we have to look at.
And Ms. Cotter got news this afternoon.
I know, I saw. Good.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. You can tell it.
Sorry.
I share. You can tell it.
No, I'm not telling. I'm just saying, don't forget to tell.
Last month, we had not been notified that we would receive Title II or Title IV funds, and we really count on those. And we received notification today that we are getting them. And Title II is around the same amount we generally get, around $173,000. And Title II is, or Title IV, I'm sorry, is down about 10,000, and we're gonna get around 88,000. So, for a total of 261,000. So that was good news for us because we really do count on those federal funds.
That's great news.
Mm-hmm.
The following pages are the analysis of property assessments. The preliminary data page is our state aid notice. And then the final page is our summary of our indebtedness. If you have any questions on those.
Do you have any questions? We have a recommendation.
I do have one. Let's back up to line item 2223 on professional development there.
Hey, Brad, we actually have to make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry,
before
okay.
we do the discussion, so if somebody wants to make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the proposed budget as, or to accept it as presented.
Thanks, Molly.
I second.
We got a motion and a second.
Now
Do we have discussion?
Now we get a discussion.
There you go.
Jump the gun a little bit.
No, you're good.
2223 there, the professional development side.
Yes.
Can you guys explain that? Do the Title II funds affect that we have coming in?
These are two separate funds. The professional development in 2223 are considered state categorical funds. And when teachers utilize those funds, they can count that towards their required professional development hours for their licensure. And when we use the federal funds from Fund 65, left me, 6786, or 6756. Those funds are for anything above and beyond their required hours.
Past the 30 hours?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we use those a lot of times to bring in contract services such as Solution Tree that come in and work with the teachers, maybe on their planning periods, or if they are doing guiding coalition things.
That's what we're spending on the extra hours. Is that
Yes.
correct? Past the 30 required hours that the state requires us to
That's
do?
just one example.
Okay.
Past the
Okay.
36.
Yeah. But if we can also send people to conferences like AAEA, it's just, we kind of work with the teachers to determine whether it's above their 36 or not, so we know where we can expense it to.
Gotcha, okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing
Ms.
none,
Harper,
I'll-
sorry,
Go
Ms.
ahead.
Harper, Ms. Cotter, there's a lot of work that goes into this,
Yes,
I
there is.
know. Especially Ms. Harper, I know you've been working this really good, so thank you. Ms. Dewey, thank you to you and your staff, everyone here. I know there's a lot that goes into this, and it's a living document. It's constantly changing, so I know everyone's watching this pretty close, right? These numbers make everyone, okay, we're watching this, so thank you for the work that you're doing, keeping us all this in check, and so thank you all.
When I went to Hot Springs, that meeting in there, the people who were talking about budgets, your school budgets, it says, you can present them, but they're a living, like you said, living document. It's gonna change. It's not gonna be something you can just rubber stamp and say, this is it. Because something may not come in one category, something might surprise you and come in larger in another category. So it's a tough situation, but you're doing a good job.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Request to approve contracted services agreement for dyslexia.
Sorry.
Hello.
Okay, our background for this is that on July 15, 2016, the Arkansas State Board of Education gave final approval to the Arkansas Department of Education rules governing how to meet the needs of children with dyslexia. Since the 2016-2017 school year, Mountain Home Public School Board of Education has invested in many opportunities to develop further training and strategies for teachers and staff. Some of these include Apple Connection, Susan Barton, and District RTI guidelines. For the 25-26 school year, we would like to continue intervention support for grades K-12 in efforts to increase student comprehension and reading skills. The interventionist will provide direct instruction for students in need of additional academic support. Our recommendation is that we would like to approve the academic service agreements of Pam Cash, Martha Wedgeworth, Rita Williams, and Kelly Conley as presented. And you'll see if you click on the link for contracted services agreement, you'll see each lady mentioned has their individual contract listed there. And these ladies have been with us. They're retired teachers from our district, and they've been doing this work with us for several years. And I would like to say we are working very hard to reduce the need for contracted services. We've talked a little bit about our intervention plan for K-5. It's going to be a pretty different strategy. We're including a lot of our certified teachers and trying to do intervention, especially at Hackler, is one of our big undertakings. Starting the day 7, I think at the time we said is 7:50 to 8:35, somewhere in there. The times we're around. It's a 45-minute whole building intervention time. Our students that are identified already as students with characteristics of dyslexia will get their services at that time. And then our other students, we're trying to add some bridges for students that need a little bit extra support but aren't quite to the place of needing that 1 to 4 group. And we're pulling in, it's called 95% group. We brought that to you before, I believe. And just trying to do a really intense reading focus during that morning time, independent reading for students that don't need reading support. We'll kind of have a menu of things that the students are doing during that time. Nelson Wilkes is going to do a very similar model. They'll be doing it 1 grade level at a time. Kindergarten at this time is going to be pretty much as it has been because those students we're getting more students at that level. As of now, for contracted services, we have only 5 students, K-5, that are needing contracted services. We've brought that number down as much as we can. Those ladies will still be helping our older students so they can finish their programs. And we also have moved 1 reading interventionist from kindergarten to Pinkston because of enrollment numbers and because the numbers in Pinkston are elevated because we did not have this plan in place quite yet. So it's going to be a big change. but we feel like this is gonna be a strategy at least to try to see if we can add a few new pieces to our intervention program before they're just going straight to that Connections 1 to 4 group or Susan Martin. So it's gonna be good. Ms. Tribbett, I want to give a shout out to her. All of our teachers are at open house, but she has been in training all summer. She has spent countless personal hours thinking through. We have a spreadsheet currently that she's made that's amazing, that she's already got our students placed. Another aspect of this we're really excited about is because of our scheduling, if a student was in a group that was moving too fast or too slow, some of the scheduling wasn't allowing us to be really fluid in the grouping, and this is going to allow us to be very fluid and adjust that pace for the students if we need to. So there's several aspects to this that we are excited about. But just want to give you a little background because we do still need some contracted services to meet the need, but we're trying our best to bring that down. Any questions about that? No? Okay, we're going to be starting that. We're going to let our teachers get their procedures in place and all of that before we start. This is going to be a big shift for them. So we'll be starting this, we think, after Labor Day. So we'll have some more information later.
Well, we appreciate all the work that you've done on that. Firsthand, I've seen the success of some of the dyslexia training and programs that we've had in the school, and does it affect the student's intelligence necessarily, which is a common misconception. So,
exactly.
Very much appreciate what we've done as a school district up to this point on that, and the meaningfulness that it has, and some of the people that don't understand it, out there in the public, just how important it is to spend the time and money on these resources for those students that do have those issues, because again, it's not an intelligence problem of any sort. And sometimes that gets misidentified with them as an intellectual problem when it's not.
Right,
so,
but it does affect their confidence.
Absolutely.
If we're not addressing it.
And then that can affect their studies when a simple intervention like that can be the world of difference early on for their academic career. So really appreciate the work and effort you guys have done in that for all of our students so far. It's been fantastic.
Well, I also want to add, these teachers, when you look at dyslexia and different things like that, sometimes they really do need just a little bit extra, some supplies, different things. And I know Mr. Myers alluded to the Mountain Home Education Foundation earlier. Donations are always accepted. And these teachers write grants. Ms. Tribbett and Ms. Norcross received a grant to buy special supplies to enhance and to improve that learning and to engage the students. So there is funding coming from all sorts of places, and the grants people have to write and the donations and everything that's can be given to the students to become better in the classroom does nothing more but come back to us in the future.
Yeah.
Well, we had a one PD day we had this summer that was, it actually was even better than I anticipated, but the founder of Connections, the Apple Group Connections, Mary Margaret Scholson, she brought 2 other trainers with her. They spent a whole day with any of the teachers in the district that wanted to come for, we called it Connections Refresher, because some of our teachers were trained in that program years ago. There's been a few updates and really just to get to hear her again and hear her trainers, and they worked, one-on-one with teachers. They brought some supplies and interacted with them. We had a really good turnout for that, and I was really excited. A lot of our interventionists came that are just there because they want to learn more about their program. And then Ms. Tribbett hosted a day last week with all of the reading interventionists in the district. She hosted lunch for them. They got to visit, they got to talk about, they don't see each other because they're in different buildings, and so it's just a really good way to build community with them and to make sure our interventionists know that they are a vital part of our staff. So that was just a couple of highlights this summer that go along with what we're trying to do. So
I will say, as a classroom teacher, having that building wide at the same time allows for these groups to be
more
fluid, and that has not always been the case.
Right.
And when you have a student that you might be, I had children with dyslexia in the gifted program.
Absolutely.
And then, so they needed those minutes. They have to have their state mandated GT minutes.
Right.
And then they need to be in their regular core content classrooms. And so this is
we're
This
gonna
is
try to
good.
protect.
And the
And
engagement
if they are
piece.
moving quickly, they may,
Yeah.
Well, you technically could have a third grader with a fifth grader and vice, you know what I'm saying?
depending
You
on
don't have
what
to
level
be-
they're in.
It's gonna be much more, I don't know if we'll be there this year, but I see it working
That's huge.
in that direction, so.
That's good
We'll
stuff.
we'll have some feedback. There's gonna be some
It's gonna be some
not
bumps in the road.
easy
There will.
things. You know, we watched
There will
this,
be.
we told y'all we watched this at Greenbrier, in the winter. And we watched it once it was, they were very comfortable with implementation. So it looked easy. Oh, we can do this. This is gonna be great. We know nothing's easy.
It's gonna be okay.
And they were carrying milk in the classrooms, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the teachers are not gonna love milk. Because they bring in breakfast and trying to get to intervention. So you have to think about, okay, now we're gonna have to think
move
about
it along,
breakfast, and
yeah.
they've gotta eat, right? They've gotta have their breakfast. So just figuring that out, and, there's gonna be students that, y'all know how big that building is, just trying to get everybody where they're supposed to be. But our teachers they have risen to anything we've asked them to do, and our principals are excited to try something new, so.
We appreciate all the work on
Well,
that.
thank y'all.
It's really showing, so.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Hey,
We still need to vote. We haven't voted on it.
Oh.
I make a motion to approve the contracted services agreement for dyslexia as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is second.
I
Any
saw
other
her going.
discussion? All those in favor? We're good. Thanks,
You
Judy.
sprint to your seat now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can talk more about it if y'all want.
Let's do it. Mr. Rose, grand finale here.
Thank you guys for letting me come up here tonight. Hey, before we start on this, I do want to say thank you to each of you guys, ladies. You guys make all these decisions and work really hard, and I think you look at every kid. You're not like picking certain ones. I want to spend money on this kid or that kid. And like from the AP kids to Jed, look around here, you see Guy Berry, you see everybody. And it's awesome to have a district like that that supports every kid who walks through. So it's pretty cool to see those pictures when you walk in, because it helps you make those decisions, I think, based on those kids, right? So, anyhow, that being said, now I'm gonna get to my business. And second time I watched that video with Jed, still ain't made it through without crying. So I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, so the first one we're gonna go over is our contracted services agreement. This is an updated one. We did this last year, so this is renewal. Mr. Tim Bryant, he was a driver for us for a while, drove for some of the city and different things, but also drove for us. He moved out of district and took another job as a pastor over in Flippin. And so he's living there, driving there, but he comes back and helps us with bus driver training. So we get new applicants, that we get them hooked up with Mr. Bryant, and he helps them go through the process of attaining their CDL with passenger endorsements to drive a school bus for us, okay? So that's a needed service that we gotta have to keep drivers coming in, keep drivers on the road. So I'm just asking that we update that again and approve that contract agreement with Mr. Bryant for this 25-26 school year.
Heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the contracted services for bus training as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thanks, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
Now we train them, now we need to put them in a bus.
So, as you know, it's kind of I'm relatively still new to this role, but I'm trying to find it on my phone, so I'm pull it up here. So I run off and left the building in a hurry while ago and didn't grab my computer.
Do you want mine? Here, does Mr. Rose? Can you read?
Yeah, I can actually see it there better than I can see right here.
Okay, okay.
Miss Alice, she's
I got you.
If you're
I got
listening,
you.
you can still make fun of me about that.
Okay.
So just a little background, we used to try to get a couple buses every year, and as the money comes and goes, it's kind of up in the air. Miss Dewey and I, we start talking about this early on, and Miss Cotter and Miss Donna back there, and trying to figure out what can we do, what we can't. We run a ton of miles every year. So one thing I noted in the background up there is just, for instance, and it's nothing anybody's doing wrong or right or nothing, it's just the process. If you have certain amounts of money, you have to take a board action and get voted on right before you can buy it. And we missed a couple of really good chances at some buses over the summer that just, like, a school district ordered some and they fell through. Something on them was not to their liking. It didn't come suited like they wanted. They wanted push button doors instead of mechanical, for instance. So they rejected them, and there's a brand new bus sitting there already made that didn't take 14 months of wait time to get, and at a little better cost because they had to get rid of them, right? So things like that. So we got to talking about that, but we're in an area where we really need to get, and we have budgeted this, so we got to get something in the process so we can get something approved to buy a bus when it comes available. So something we're looking at, we did this last year if you remember, and it worked out really well. We partnered with a company, or I say partnered, we've got some sources out there. Mr. Paul has found, potentially found us another bus. It is a low mileage bus, less than 30,000 miles, something around 27,000 is kind of what the one we've got eyes on right now. Just don't have all the specs to share with you yet. We got a few, don't have the whole works. But 77 passenger, I can confirm that, and some other really high things added on to it, so it's a pretty nice vehicle. The one I've got my eyes on, it's a 24 model as well. So, you know, it's warranty, all that good stuff. So, long story short, the new bus is like the one we're hoping we can get our hands on once we inspect it and all that, is they run roughly 175 to 180, probably the way this one will be spec'd. And new, and you're talking about a 14-month lead time before we could even lay hands on it. We found this one we're looking at, and hopefully we can get a hold of it and it works out. But nonetheless, the recommendation I'm asking for, I'll keep it kind of vague at this point just in case, but the recommendation is to purchase a used bus, 77 passenger at least, which is about the max that we normally purchase, and then a gasoline bus like we've been getting over the past few years. Low mileage, less than 30,000, and we're going to keep it underneath $125,000.
Heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
Any other of y'all can make motions?
I make a motion to approve the request for bus purchase as presented.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, these bus purchases, they're expensive, but this is a can that you can only kick down the road so far before it comes back and bites us. And we've kicked it once, so you have to get these, or else you're suddenly going to wind up with a really old fleet that a lot needs replacing at the same time. So I think this is a great solution to that. Hey, there's a used bus, but we can't wait till the next board meeting to get approval to then, and it's gone now. So. Yeah, I have zero issues with pre-authorizing that purchase for when you find the right one.
Yeah, I agree, because you can run into, with an older fleet, higher cost of repairs. I mean, new engines can be $40,000 to $60,000 on a bus, and plus with our outreach of where our buses have to go, for a district our size is double some of these other districts where their miles traveled are half of what we have to face. So I think this is very, very reasonable. Does it have air conditioning, the one we're looking at? Yeah, okay. But yeah, I think.
I can give you a few, Mr. Butler, and give you a few details that I know for sure, because I think it may have already arrived up there, and if it is, Mr. Belknap's gonna go and look at it either tomorrow or Monday. But it's a Cadillac, yeah, and it's got the under storage for it. So it'd be one we'd put right in, if it's what we think it is, we'd put it right into an activity. It'd go in the activity group.
It's gonna be my next question.
It's updated with the air ride seats, the armrests, the highest tech camera systems, the under storage, that kind of stuff. So that's about $15,000 to $20,000 over what a normal route bus costs. So those are about a 160. This one probably is closer to 180 new.
In years past, ideally we had thought 3 buses a year was what we needed to maintain our fleet. Is that still the case?
Probably so.
Ideally. So I mean, we really still are kicking the can.
We're still kicking it.
I mean,
how many buses total do we have?
I think Paul told me that we insure about 50, somewhere 52.
Did take I think 50 plus. We did take we were looking at a smaller special education type bus for the routes. They were able to, as of now, they're running one less special education route, so the need for that bus is not there. So we've kind of been able to skirt around that,
As you know,
but we have to be watching.
And that was due, like Ms. Stewart
We got
said.
lucky. I mean, that's as of
Those are
today.
wheelchair buses, equipped for wheelchairs, so if something like that changes,
we will have to come
We'll
back.
have to reassess. It could mean doubling up on a driver to make that special trips, that kind of thing. But, at this moment, we were able to cut down from 4 to 3 on our
That's just-
special education bus routes.
That's a
Are we
need,
seeing
but-
any larger repairs on some of those older buses?
That's what we
I mean,
didn't.
Are
It's one of the
the
reasons we
repair
didn't.
costs climbing in the fleet?
Yeah, yes and no. You know, one of the good things is, as you know, Jason, is the last few years, Mr. Paul has went to
The
asking
gas.
for gas buses, right? So we know gas is a lot cheaper than diesel when you go to working on those motors. You don't have all the DEF systems, all that kind of
Correct.
stuff to go along with it. You get probably more longevity out of the diesel typically, but there is a lot more expensive cost to upkeep and maintain, not to mention just the right way, probably the level of mechanic to work on a
Diesel mechanic.
diesel engine, diesel mechanic versus a gas.
Overall cost of ownership is lower on a gas.
Yeah,
than
it
it is on
definitely
diesel.
is. So,
Well, too, don't you see that the diesel engine will last a lot longer, but the body work won't last any longer?
right.
You know, these
These roads
buses
are rough.
take.
Even our paved roads are rough.
Yeah.
in a lot of
Yeah,
places.
gravel roads, like,
Yeah, and we've got some rough ones. If you get on some of those, I drove last year there.
Super rough.
They're rough, and I know the county does what they can, but with all that water we get, they're rough, and you have hills.
But the gross math of 50 buses, changing out 3 a year, that still gives a lifespan of 17 years per bus,
We're getting more.
bouncing down our county roads, et cetera. Like, it's an old fleet. Like, so you kick that can much further. That budget we just talked about, are there any other buses this year in that budget, or is this basically it?
As of right now, that's it,
Yeah.
but, I think we're watching, that insurance cost is gonna be we don't wanna get into all that right now, but
Sure.
as we see some of those projected costs, we get
Right.
the actual, I think we'll be able to make some better decisions.
Okay.
I can give you a better answer.
Yeah, I mean, we have to buy buses, so that's a.
Yes, sir.
and very reasonable price too, for the model.
Yeah, we're pretty
based on
pleased.
what you see, so.
I think we can get it under that a little bit if what I'm hearing is right, and if the one we like is what they say it is, we'll get it a little bit under that, so. Which is always good, maybe they'll leave us a little bit in the hole for another one, so.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous? Thanks, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, guys, appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Board discussion? Anything you want to share?
We, Ms. Carter sent me a copy of the insurance policy. I was asking about the supplemental plan. And I went through it and I took it to my boss, Joey, had him go over it. It's okay, but he said there's nothing out there that is really great anyway. And he said the one thing on those supplemental plans is you've got to stay active. If you have an injury or something like that, don't take no for first answer, because they are rubber stamping no. Okay? So, and he said that typically in most situations like that with those is because it falls on the parents and they don't follow through. So if a parent comes to you and says, well, they didn't pay anything, did you fill out the forms? Did you take it to the doctor's office? And they don't follow through. So, but he said for $11,000, you're getting your money's worth.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that homework.
You know, Joey did most of it. They didn't take him long.
Well, good, he needed to do
He
something.
needed to do something. He just got back from Spain and Italy, you know, we finally put him back to work for a little bit.
I did see an article today that Sarah Huckabee Sanders was questioning the insurance hikes with Blue Cross Blue Shield, so.
Maybe.
I don't
Fingers
know
are
if
crossed.
that will
I did not read it. I saw the
do
picture.
anything.
Maybe.
I read some of it, hopefully it will.
I'll tell you this, that didn't just happen overnight. They've been working on this for a year. And Centene is doing the same thing. Centene's gonna ask 50%.
Yeah.
So,
We always joked as teachers that anytime our pay increased, our insurance cost increased. It
So the pay-
seemed
Same
oddly.
thing happens on Medicare.
Oddly.
So the pay didn't really increase,
The
right?
pay
Yep.
really didn't increase,
Yeah.
so, but I will say
That-
Mountain Home pays more towards
Yeah.
insurance
Yeah.
than
And
the
dis-
state.
district
mandated.
kicks in a lot more than most districts do.
Yeah.
They're gonna, they'll take less of an increase, more than likely, but there's gonna be an increase.
I did get an email yesterday, and I think I shared it, I may have shared it with you all, about we do not expect our employees to have any additional cost. So, the district will probably, but, so that's good news for our folks this year. I
Right.
don't know for the next couple, but they're saying this year. So fingers crossed that holds, right? Because it wasn't an official email. It was from our co-op.
Any other discussion? Ms. Dewey, do you have anything?
I do. I've got a couple of things. First of all, it's been a great week to have teachers back on campuses. And tonight, open houses, it reminds you just walking through the hallways as an administrator why we do what we do. And it's for those families and for those kids and for those teachers. And that was, just reminds us of why we're here after summer, of course. I look forward to hearing how many. You know, teachers love to tell you 19 out of my 24 were here, or I've already had 10 come through my classroom. So
But did the Pinkston kids get their lockers open?
there were no tears. I did check. I asked on both hallways. I
And
asked on
decorated.
6th grade. I didn't ask on 7th grade because they're real mature. You know, they've already done that a year.
Right.
But I did ask on the 6th grade hall, and as of the time I was there, about 4:30, no tears. So that was good news.
On the topic of open houses.
Yes, sir.
I was in 3 different campuses today, and I just wanted to say, the campuses looked fantastic.
do.
The grass was all
Yes.
cut, there were a lot of smiling
Yes.
faces, it was well attended. I mean, it was an excellent showing on the part of the district today, so well done.
And I agree on your campus. They looked great.
They did.
That was
I saw
something
some
I
really
noticed.
decked out classroom photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cute stuff.
And the
Pinterest
positivity
worthy.
of the teachers has been fantastic. And to you, Ms. Dewey, great job on the back to school bash. I don't know who attended that or who didn't, but if you've ever been a former teacher, at certain places, it's more depressing than it is welcoming in some regards. And it was a breath of fresh air to see that every teacher smiling, music playing, everybody ready to get back into action. And kind of to Scott's point, when you go to these buildings, you see that refreshment carrying over, and I truly believe that's not at every district. So great job on creating that type of environment for our teachers, which will follow over to our students, which is the main goal. So
Monday morning was a lot of fun.
it was.
Skit was great.
The skits were
Rose's
amazing.
did, but it was
So-
great.
People were
That
still
was
talking
good.
about it at buildings today.
I'll
They
never
were-
look
they
at
were
Kathy
awesome.
Wham the same.
I
The
told-
first one was
yeah.
gold. Yeah,
I
the first
told,
one was.
I screen, we sometimes aren't super, we don't always just get up and walk to the offices to talk to somebody. And I said, Jennifer, I got an idea. And she came in and
But those performers came up.
they
with
did
their
it.
own. She
They
gave
did
them
it.
their
I said,
topic.
there's your topic, here's a video idea. And we had a 15-minute run through on Friday morning. And when I say 15 minutes, maybe. And they just, I mean,
They did great.
they were amazing.
Miss Potter's husband really stole the show.
Well, Mr. Rose has a second
And Mr.
career.
Rose did,
Yeah.
he did. He did pretty fantastic as well. I did want to let folks know, and this is live streamed, and I want each of you all to know that my daughter, my eldest, Leah, will be on one of our campuses. She's going to be working as a speech pathologist for a personal therapy group. And our district has had a long-standing contract with personal therapy group. Of course, she's thrilled to have a job and to be in town. But I wanted to make sure everyone knew that she's not working for the district. You haven't missed that on a personnel report. There wasn't a need for a contract disclosure, just she's working for another company. So I just wanted to make sure people had that awareness. Other than that, I would like to talk about a work session. We had talked about having a work session for an academic discussion. This will be like our letter grades, the school letter grades, explaining how that works. I'd like for you all to get a look at my personal deliberative plan of practice, Ms. Lawrence's, and show you how that's working throughout the buildings. It'll be great. So this will be academic focus.
Okay.
So 9:23, 9:25, or 9:30. Does anybody have somebody told me they were gonna be out, and I'm sorry that I went back through my emails and couldn't find it. What dates?
All of them.
All of, one of the things, this would not be, there won't be any action, so we can Zoom. You
Okay.
could watch from afar if you
What were
needed
the
to.
3 days
My
again?
phone on.
9:23, 9:25, or 9:30 were 3 options,
I'm open all of that.
okay? Does anybody else? Do
I'm
you have
having
a,
to pull my phone up because
Okay.
I turn it
Yeah.
off. first.
does anybody have a preference on a Tuesday or Thursday? And we could do a Monday, I just picked those.
NICA practices are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
What practices?
Mountain bike.
Okay, let me look on, okay, let's look, and Jason does work with the mountain bike team, let me look. I think.
The
nine-
kids aren't coming back here if I'm there or not, but I sure do enjoy it.
Let me give you another option.
But it doesn't, I mean, if it.
I know, let me look though, because I just picked those dates. I wanted to do this in September. We should have our school letter grades by that
great.
time. So that, I just felt like that would be a
That'd be
good
awesome.
time to have those discussions. I can do 9:24. I'm helping in a class at church, but I can figure something out on 9:24. The other option would be 9:29. It's a Monday.
I'm good for any of those days.
Would you all-
6 PM always works better for me than 5:30 for work sessions,
I can
but,
do, we can do that, and I will have it to where, it's pretty tight as far as what we're talking about, what y'all are looking at, so that, we can do it in a timely manner.
well, once we start
So we're off
talking,
by
all
2
the bets
a.m.
are off, right?
Yeah. 29th, I can do 29th.
Okay, is 9:29 okay? 9:29?
for me.
All right, perfect.
At
See,
6.
that worked better.
Thank you.
9:29 at 6. And with that, school starts on Tuesday, and we cannot wait for our kids to get back. The buses are rolling. And I'll send y'all a reminder about 9:29 at 6, or Miss Kelly will. But I'll put it in an email too.
Great.
All
And
right.
what time will that start?
6 o'clock. All right.
Okay. Guess
Gotcha.
We'll move into executive session for personnel resignations and transfers.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.